When we talk about raising children and parenting in the world that we live in, it's one of those topics where there are so many books and methods and techniques, and it seems like everyone you speak to has got some advice to give you. And it's quite intimidating when we hold our first child and we don't really know what we're doing, and we're a bit worried we're going to mess things up. And maybe we've read books and we've heard about, where our children should be at certain stages of their development, and there can be so much pressure on us. And yet, as Christian parents, I believe that we can have faith in that our children have got a Father in heaven who's looking out for them. And somehow that they don't belong to us, but they're a gift from God in our lives. And that, we can have faith that the Lord is going to give us what we need to raise them. He's going to help us. He's going to guide us. But as much as He's going to help us, we also need to make sure that we don't stand in the way of what the Lord has for them. He has a perfect will and plan for our lives and for our children's lives. But as parents, we can so often, impose an expectation and a system on our children, which is different to that of the Lord. And we need to understand in the world that we live in, that there is a system of the world and there is the plan of God. And they are completely polar opposites. And that's why it's so important as parents to have a vision for our lives as a family, to have a vision for our children. Because where our vision and our priority is, that's where we're going to be willing to invest our money, invest our time, invest our efforts. And you see, it's so dangerous today because as parents, we want our kids to enjoy everything. We want them to have everything in life. And somehow we can start for our priority for them to be their career, to be financial security, to be popularity. All of these things that of course we want for our children. But at the same time, as much as they can gain the whole world, is it going to be at the cost of their soul? And the Bible reminds us that we need to seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. And it's a seeking, it's a road that we take. If we just sit back and wait and see what happens, we can be sure that the world and its system is going to sweep us away, sweep our family away and our kids. But we need to be sure that we are living by the Spirit, that they are living by conviction, and very often those things are going to be completely opposite to what the world is doing. And we see that in Romans 12 verse 2. It says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." And I think we all want the perfect will of God for our kids. And we need to make sure that somehow our kids are not under pressure and an expectation to reach some kind of level in life, but that they feel secure and that the Lord has got a plan for them and that He's taking care of them and that us as parents are there to support them in every way that we can. And we often see where our priorities lie in the little daily things of life. See, I always think of the 3-day children's church camp. It sounds like a very kind of religious example, but let me just tell you, I know I don't have everything for my children, and that the Lord gives me a wonderful family of God and a church where there are other people to help my children. And for me, those 3 days of children's church camp, they should be the first 3 days blocked off in the calendar for my kids, if that is my priority for their lives. But how often do we wait 2 weeks before these events to think, are we going to have enough money in the bank? Is there another sporting event that weekend that our kids might miss? Is there a school trip? And somehow we can see that our priority is more in the things of this world for our children. And somehow there's not a faith that as we sow seeds in the lives of our children and how much we need to do that the Lord is going to be faithful. And you see, I don't need to be totally legalistic about it today, but we need to understand our responsibility to sow into the lives of our children at every opportunity that the Lord gives us. And we can then trust that the Lord can take care of them. And we can stand before the Lord one day and say, "Lord, I've done everything that I can, and the rest is in His hands." And He is a faithful God, and He will take care of our children.